Just guide us into how you got to owning 340 units.
Let's put it this way: it's more about being a little crazy. You kind of got to be a little crazy. It was crazy, man. So literally, I came to Houston for a party, and I literally got a house under contract when I came. Like, I was just ballsy. I was like, I like this deal. Let's buy it. And I put it under contract, flew back home, told my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to Houston for a couple weeks. Bye. Literally, I did that. So then I flew out here, rented a truck, put it on my credit card because I didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I would just like, dude, sometimes I would even stay in the truck because I didn't even have money. So it's like I had to do what I had to do to get it done. And I would work on the properties myself. I would pick up people at the Home Depot. I would just figure things out just to get it going, you know? It was a very tough battle, but my mindset then was just go hard as I can and do what my dad taught me to just outwork everybody.
Whenever you buying your first couple of units, did you have any fear? Did you have any sort of anything that was holding you back from actually purchasing those properties?
Today, I'm really happy to announce my podcast with Jonathan Chacon. He is an incredible entrepreneur, crazy, off the rails, but gets a lot done. And you're going to hear all about it. He came from California to Houston on a weekend trip, decided to buy one house here, and he got all the way now to owning 340 units. He's got about 7 flips, active flips that he's doing right now. So how did he do that? Obviously, a lot of relentlessness. So he talks about how he went on this journey and constantly pursues wholesalers, sellers. He's not scared to follow up, not scared to bug them, loosen that fear, and overcoming lots of adversity in the process. Now, another thing that he mentioned is how he manages those 7 flips at the time. I'm really excited about this. I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of value here. He has a whiteboard, and he's able to manage 7 flips with a whiteboard and with a whole army of people. So he's going to go into that, and I'm really excited for everyone to hear this podcast. This guy is a wealth of knowledge. We went into the market, analyzing market, becoming a professional, truly becoming a professional when analyzing deals, and really scaling to the next level. So I think everyone's going to hear a lot of really good information from this guy. I can't wait for you guys to listen to this podcast. Give me some feedback. And like always, like, follow, subscribe. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Pick Up the Phone podcast. I'm your host, Josue Llanas. I own a marketing agency with remote workers in Egypt. We help small businesses support with their marketing and sales departments. Today's guest is Jonathan Chacon. Jonathan Chacon's been investing since 2017, right? He's got about 340 units that he owns right now, with another 70 more under contract. Another crazy thing about Jonathan Chacon, he has 12 flips currently that he's flipping at the same time. So welcome Chacon.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. So man, let's get started real quick. Just for everyone that's listening out there, can you tell us a little bit about you, who you are, your story? Just guide us into how you got to owning 340 units.
Well, let's put it this way: it's more about being a little crazy. We've discussed this many times, me and you.
Yeah.
That you kind of got to be a little crazy, you know, to get to that point and take a lot of risk. So, you know, I started back in California. My first property was a multifamily, was an 8-unit, and I just couldn't find any deals, so I ended up going to Vegas, and I bought a 10-unit in Vegas, and then I couldn't find any more deals, so I ended up coming to Houston.
Yeah.
And then that's when I met our friend Boris Sanchez, and you know, he helped me. He educated me and taught me on how to buy a lot of commercial real estate with no money out of pocket, and that's when things just took off. You know, it took off to the races, and I started wholesaling, and I was able to acquire in the last, you know, I think between 2021 and 2023, we acquired so much real estate. It was just insane. We just exploded.
Yeah.
But last year was a very difficult year for us. We ended up having to step back and reanalyze what we were doing, and you know, realistically, we had to learn that owning a bunch of multifamily and buying it quick ends up being more of a massive job. So we had to stop buying really and just focus on the portfolio itself. And that's when we started flipping again,
Yeah.
just to generate cash because we weren't making any money. We were making a lot of our money that we were making during those couple of years was through wholesaling commercial real estate, and we were just getting a bunch of money, just 50K, 70K, 100K, 150K pops, and we just got spoiled, and then it just stopped.
Yeah.
So we had to like, whoa,
Take a second. To
yeah,
step back.
like
Yeah.
step back. And luckily I had a lot of real estate and I was able to sell properties and get money to keep myself afloat. And we figured things out in life. And that's when I'm like, hey, I flipped before. Let me just go back to flipping. And that's why we're at 12 flips right now. We're trying to stay, we usually close between 1 and 2 deals per month. And our profit margins are between 25 and 45,000 per deal.
Nice.
But we're all about volume, and that's what we're kind of leaning towards. However, yesterday I signed my first contract to complete a wholesale transaction on a multifamily property again. So things are getting better.
Is that the motel you were talking about?
No, this is a 9-unit.
9-unit
That I sold to one of our friends. And, so things are starting to change, owners are starting to realize that the market shifted. So we're starting to be able to get, sellers to come down on the price
Really?
I can provide value to actual buyers, and even for ourselves to keep.
Right. Love that, dude.
So, yeah.
So is that what you're seeing right now where the sellers are finally starting to kind of realize that the prices that, maybe 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, it's not that time frame anymore?
No. And a lot of owners had to come to that realization. They wanted to sell at what the peak of the market was in 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
And they're not getting those prices anymore. The appraisals are still high because they're still like kind of like the properties are still selling at those prices, but very few of them.
Right.
So they're still using the comps from them because
property taxes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything, the insurance and everything. So they're trying to think that the values were still high, but then they put it on the market and they get crickets.
Yeah.
They don't get any offers.
Yeah.
So now, it's the perfect time for us as investors to step in and just start buying up this real estate again.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I completely agree. And I want to talk about like market cycles and understanding where the market is right now, understanding kind of your journey and where you've been at with the different market cycles and what people that are listening to this podcast can do to benefit themselves and actually make a lot of money. But before we talk about all that, Chacon, I'd love to talk to you about your story, right? Let's talk real quick about your journey into real estate, because a lot of people listening to this podcast are maybe like new, they haven't done very many deals. And so let's talk to them real quick.
Sure.
How did you get started in real estate? What was like your first deal that you bought, and more importantly, what is it that piqued your curiosity to learning about real estate?
So I grew up around my dad. He owned a duplex and a triplex in California. And, I grew up just like fixing toilets with him. He would just take me with him,
Yeah.
make me, just paint the apartments when people would leave. And so I was just around that a lot.
Yeah.
So I realized that, I really enjoyed it. I really liked being around the construction side and just managing the assets, dealing with people and stuff like that. So that's what kind of got me to like say like, hey, I would love to 10x this. I don't want to just own 3 doors. I would love to just explode this. And that's when, luckily Houston, I grew up in California. In California, that you cannot do what you do here in Houston. So we're able to buy properties here in Houston with no money down, versus California, the equity doesn't make sense out there. So you can't do that out there. It's non-existent. Versus here in Houston, you could pick up doors at 40 a door and, they're worth 70 a door, automatically right now. You can buy it right now.
I love that. So would you say like whenever you were buying your first couple of units, did you have any fear? Did you have any sort of anything that was holding you back from actually purchasing those properties?
So I did not, because like I said, I grew up around it.
Yeah.
So I knew that the only thing that I needed was just energy and just time,
Yeah.
So my first property that I bought it with my dad. We bought an 8-unit out in California, in Santa Ana, California. and I had been negotiating with that realtor for a while.
Yeah.
It was on the market, and they had listed it for $1 million, and nobody was buying it.
Yeah.
So then I would just constantly just like text them and be like, hey man, let me know, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to close, but at this price.
The shark comes
And
in.
then they would be like, no, we can't do it. And then it went under contract,
Yeah.
and then it fell out of contract. And then when I seen it pop up back on the market, I immediately texted the realtor. I'm like, hey, we're ready. Let's get this done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then finally the realtor said, yeah, let's do it, because the owner's in a 1031 exchange and has to sell.
Oh,
So then we had them in a corner,
yeah.
and we were able to get the price that I wanted
Yeah.
on the project.
And so that was your first couple of deals that you did out there. You were
My first deal. That was my first
that
deal.
was your first deal. Okay. Were you just looking at this particular deal every day, or how did that happen?
So I'm kind of like a freak with these things. Like, I'm like on top of deals all day long. Like, literally, I still do that today since like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
to like before I got here.
How do you keep track of everything? Because
I just like follow up with everybody all the time.
yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
I just call people all day, talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm literally doing that all day.
Right.
I that's how you find opportunities, just hustling, you know?
Yeah. But a lot of people don't really like realize how much follow up it takes, right? A lot of people say, "Well, I sent them a text and they didn't reply." Oh, okay. Well,
Call them.
yeah. So what happened?
No.
What happened next, right?
You call them.
Yeah.
Follow up.
Follow up.
Bug them.
Yeah, the next day, and some people think, oh, maybe I'll just send them a text, I'll call them once, and then they say, oh, well, I tried, it didn't work out. You know, they're not ready.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? I've lost deals like that because I didn't follow up.
So have I, yeah.
Yeah. And so I've learned to like keep track of those things through CRMs and just mental, you know, like just like, hey,
remembering,
like, just remembering, oh, we need to follow up with this person, with that person. Me and my girl do that.
Yeah.
So what we do is we usually try to do, we have a board and in our office, and we'll just be like, hey, like this guy is this close to signing this contract. And I will be like, if she has the relationship with the owner, I'll be like, call him.
Yeah,
like
right now.
Call him right now. And if he doesn't answer, I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't answer to me, then we'll call him from a different number until we get this guy on the phone. And then I just like kind of like, hey, let's meet up.
Yeah.
Once I'm in front of him, it's a different game. Then I take contracts and I make them sign it. Like we don't leave until we sign that contract.
You make them sign it.
I don't make them sign it. But it's something, most of the time it happens.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think more importantly, like it kind of speaks to the mindset that you have, right? Like you take it with you, you know you're going to get it done. So you figure out what you have to say, what obstacles you have to overcome so you can actually make it happen.
100%.
Right? Yeah, and I think that's a mindset that people need to understand that you need to have in this field. Like you just need to be a shark, and you need to just be consistent, persistent, and always follow up, because if you don't, someone else is going to take it.
Yeah. And I feel like when you have a seller that's telling you like, hey, I'm ready to sell, and you have literally 5 days
to
close this guy.
It's a window of opportunity.
Close this guy. Yeah. Because he's ready.
Yeah.
So you have to literally be a shark with him. Like, hey, what's up, bro? What's going on? Hey, I just want to follow up. How's everything? How you doing today?
Yeah.
You know, how's the weather? You know, it's rainy out there.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Let's go for a coffee. Like,
yeah.
You know, he's like a girl, you know, like, hey, what's up?
You gotta be persistent.
Yeah, you gotta be persistent until they fall, you know, like, and the reality is a lot of people, they give up.
Yeah. It's as simple as that, man. Unfortunately, you know, most people I'd say most deals are lost because people give up in the follow-up. And it's as simple as that. If you were to just stay persistent, talk to the people, and get the property under contract, the money follows. It's not hard to buy a property if you get it at a great price. Like, money will be thrown at you if you get a great deal and at a great price, right?
Yes. And most of the time, the real sellers, the best sellers always give you numbers. And that's what we've realized. Like, when you have a seller who's just like, hey, I'm ready to sell, and then you're like, well, how much you want?
Yeah.
And then they give you a number. You're like, okay, well, let's give you that number. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what? And sometimes we'll get under contract at that price, and then we'll renegotiate. A lot of us, you know, use that tactic. You know, we'll just be like, let's get under contract, and then we do an inspection, and then we're like, oh, by the way, this is going to cost more than we thought. We need to fix this. We need to fix this. Oh, so we need it at this price now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a great tactic also, just to be able to secure the property, more than anything, the seller gets committed to working with you, right?
Exactly.
So that's a great tactic for sure. Cool, man. So you let's talk about how when you moved to Houston, because I remember I met you when you just came to Houston, and I remember you driving around in a rinky dinky little fucking, what is it, like a Ford little truck,
No,
dude?
it was I think it was a Chevy Colorado.
It was a Chevy Colorado, single cab.
Yeah.
Single cab, built in like 1940.
No, it was not.
It looked old. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? But it speaks volumes, bro, to your journey. And a lot of people see you now and they say, oh shit, Jonathan has 340 units. He has 12 flips that he's doing right now. Like, you have all this cash you're working with, and you're moving big amounts of capital. But I met you when you were just like, at Chevy Colorado, and they say, oh, success happens overnight. No, it fucking doesn't. It's a big process. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. But I really want to dive into your mindset back then, bro, because you were just relentless from the moment that I remember. Like, we went for a bike ride.
Mm-hmm.
It was a couple of us, and we went mountain bike riding, like in a nice little park out there in West Side Houston. And you showed up, you did the bike ride, and then right after that, you were going to like a seller appointment. You were doing something else with the property. Like, you were just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So talk about that journey. How was that for you going through that now, looking back at it right now?
It was crazy, man. So literally this is how it happened. So I moved to Houston. I came to Houston for a party.
Yeah.
And then I came out here for a birthday party. And I literally got a house under contract when I came here. Like, I was just ballsy. I was like, I like this deal. Let's buy it. And I put it under contract, flew back home. And I literally, told my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Houston for a couple weeks. Bye. Literally, I did that. So then I flew out here, rented a truck, put it on my credit card because I didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I would just like, dude, sometimes I would even stay in the truck because I didn't even have money.
I remember that.
So it's like I had to do what I had to do to get it done. And I would work on the properties myself. I would pick up people at the Home Depot. I would just figure things out just to get it going, And it was a very tough battle. But my mindset then was just go as hard as I can and do what my dad taught me to just outwork everybody,
Yeah.
So I would outwork everybody, but then to shift that mindset to go from that to owning all these units, it was just a different mindset. And I think who helped me the most was Boris.
Yeah.
He's the one that helped me get that mindset, shift that mindset. And it was so hard for me to leave, going to Home Depot, picking up material, doing this, doing that. It was just so hard to let that go. But I had to.
You were conditioned for so long.
Yeah, exactly. So it was very hard for me to let that go. And I had to realize that I needed to step back. And my real talent was actually negotiating, talking to people, and actually getting deals under contract. Yeah. So I had to learn how to step back and let other people do stuff for me. And it was very difficult for me. However, I still deal with that right now today in my career. Last year we let go of one of our main employees, and it was the worst mistake in our life because everything started going downhill. We still had the same amount of units that we have right now. We had 340 units last year. We let go of our staff. And me and Kaylin were doing everything, and it was the worst decision I ever made in my life.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't make money.
Overwhelmed, yeah.
I was overwhelmed because I was trying to manage properties, trying to go to seller appointments, trying to do marketing, trying to do everything on my own. And I was just trying to do leasing, which is the worst thing in the world that I can do with my time. So I had to rehire all new staff, let them do their thing, and then me focus on flipping, on looking for opportunities, looking for deals, and underwriting deals all day, which is what makes me money.
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing that people really need to learn from your journey is your relentlessness, like just the mindset of always figuring it out, right? You came to Houston, and you didn't, like, you just put the property in a contract, bro. Next thing you're going out there, you're fixing it yourself, and you're like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah. Right. And so that mindset is what people need to have, and just knowing that it doesn't matter what obstacle is in front of you, you can just go right through it if you just put the mindset of saying, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. Because you could have easily said, oh, I don't have any money. So what am I going to do? But you're like, oh, I don't have any money. I'm going to sleep in my truck. And then tomorrow I'm going to go pick up people from Home Depot and I'm going to fix this house. You know what I mean?
That sounds crazy, but it's true.
But that's literally what happened, right?
Yeah.
That's literally what happened.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that credit is such a big deal.
Yeah.
You have to take care of your credit. Your credit is your lifeline. So I have probably right now probably like $500,000 or $600,000 in credit lines if I need it. And I've been in situations. Last year was a perfect example.
Yeah.
I got caught up during certain things, and I had to literally use those credit lines.
Those small are those credit lines with small commercial banks?
No, the credit line was credit cards.
You have $500,000-$600,000 with just in credit cards?
Yeah. So I went up to, I think I almost owed $400,000 in credit cards last year.
No shit.
It was insane. It was scary because you know, when you're doing these big deals, I was doing this 68 unit conversion from motel to multifamily.
Yeah.
It was a journey, man. And I was only lent because the market shifted in 2023. I was able to get it under contract, buy the property, but the lender said, hey, I'm only going to lend you $2 million to buy the property.
Right.
Because the banks were pulling back. That was when there was a banking crisis. And
so they're only going to lend you $2 million. And what were you buying it for?
I bought the property for $2 million.
Oh, so now
no renovation money.
You have to come out of pocket with your renovation money now.
Yes. So then at that time I was making money. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's get this closed. I just wanted to close it because put it this way, that deal I bought it for $2 million is worth $5 million.
Yeah. No
right?
brainer.
No brainer.
Yeah.
Of course. Why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's when you're making money. You're making 100K here, 70K here, 50K here, 40K here. You're like, okay. I mean, let's do it. You know? So I started doing it. I started doing my thing and, started fixing the property, getting it going. And then me like a very not so smart investor, at that time, I'm being very real. We get cocky. You come to a point in your career sometimes that you get cocky and you get like, you just start buying stuff because we were buying and just buying and buying and buying.
Yeah.
And we were buying and holding. And that was the biggest mistake I could do.
Right.
Because I didn't have the wholesaling stop.
Right.
So now it's like, okay.
So now you don't have liquidity.
Now I don't have liquidity. So my liquidity was just draining every month.
Yeah. And not going back up.
And not going back up.
Yeah.
So I had to start using those credit cards and I used them up. And luckily I was able to refinance last year on that property.
Yeah.
And I was able to, I think I got $800,000 out.
Nice.
I got a wire from a cash out refinance on that property. I got 800, I think it was 850,000 back, paid off the credit cards.
Yeah.
And then I was able to pay off my, one of my lenders that lent me money just to keep going. And I was like, all right, cool. And I think I kept like 250,000 in liquidity. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm back to square one.
Yeah.
Now what am I going to do? And that's when we realized that, hey, I have to do income producing activities. I cannot buy any more real estate to hold because they don't, it's not making sense. I'm not cash flowing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that happened all last year?
That happened all last year, man.
Wow.
And then I had to literally just rebuild again, start flipping and, get my feet back up. I was like, I have these 250,000.
Yeah.
And then I had, I owned a lot of real estate. So I started selling off a few properties and I made probably like 300,000 or 400,000 from selling some assets off. So then I put a certain amount of money in the bank for my family. And I'm like, this money's not going back in here.
Yeah.
We're gonna live off of this money. I think I put like 2 years of life in one account and I said, I'm never gonna allow this to happen again. So now we don't do that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's really important here to note, people look at you and they're like, oh, Jonathan Chacon is successful as hell, right? Like this guy's making a crap ton of money. But even it doesn't matter what level you are at in business, there's always challenges that happen.
Oh my.
Right? There's always challenges, whether it's monetary or, dealing with people or management or any sort of thing that are happening in business. There's always some sort of challenge that is something that you need to overcome in business. So I think that's something that's not talked about enough, right? So I'm really glad that you do, and you hold nothing back, because you make everything real, right? Like, hey, this is real life, bro. Like, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. It's difficult sometimes.
So I think I posted this last week on my Facebook. It's like I had to learn that success and the amount of money you make is based on the amount of problems you solve. So I had to learn to create to not, when a problem comes to me, to not panic.
Yeah.
So just be like, okay, not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Just solve the problem.
Yeah.
Instead of, I used to be like, oh my God, the world's ending.
Yeah.
Like things are going against me. The world's against me. Why is this happening to me? Complain and complain and complain. So now I'm like, no, let's not complain. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
How can we solve this?
What do we have to do?
What do we have to do?
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
Who do we need to talk to?
Yeah. Let's figure this out and solve this problem. And I'm going to make money off of this if I solve this problem.
Yeah.
So the more problems I solve, the more money I'm going to make. And I see it when I'm flipping. Most people cannot handle the amount of construction projects that I can.
Yeah.
So they're not organized enough to be able to oversee 6-7 projects at a time, a couple of multifamily commercial projects. And like you talked earlier, I'm about to close on another big project, and you know,
the 70
yeah,
motel.
70-unit motel.
Yeah.
We're going to be closing on it. So we're just, as you go in your career path, you have to learn from the mistakes that you did. You can't just like stop doing something. You have to like look back and say like, hey, how can I become a better investor instead of just giving up? How can I be better for the next time that comes around? I have a second chance. Or this is probably my third chance. I've been taken out almost 3 times already. But if you can just find a way to solve problems within your company, you're going to succeed. If you just stop doing it, then you're going to go under, you know?
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think you hit on a very interesting point, because a lot of people wouldn't even know where to start, how to manage even 2 renovations at a time. So would you mind sharing a little bit about what it takes to manage 7 rehabs at the same time?
I have a board in my office, and we have all the projects we have right now.
Okay.
Every day,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see something happen to that property.
Okay.
So every day I'm calling every single guy. Somebody has to be on that project every day.
Okay.
So essentially, I have a list of a lot of people who I work with that do projects for me.
Right.
So I'll just manage them every day. I just call them, make sure that they're going to be there. And that's what literally project management is. It's just calling them and be like, hey, you're going to be there tomorrow. What time? 8 a.m. Okay. I'll be there at 8 a.m. I'll see you at 8 a.m. Sometimes I don't go. But then I'll call them at 8 a.m. and be like, hey, you're there? Oh, I'm about to get there. Oh, yes? Okay, cool. You're there? All right, cool. Sounds good. Then I'll go by later on.
Yeah.
But that's probably the biggest thing in project management is just calling people.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, everybody's calling them.
Yeah.
So you have to be their priority. In order to be their priority, you got to call them in the evening and in the morning. Call them like quick text. Hey, man, I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'm going to be there. Let's chat. And then in the morning, like, hey, what time are you going to be there? Yeah. Let's make sure that you're there. Okay, I'm going to be there. Okay, cool. Sounds good. I'll see you there later on. I couldn't make it. I got busy. I'll be there, though.
Yeah.
But now I know they're working.
Right.
So there's somebody there working, always progressing my projects.
Right.
If I don't have anybody there, then you have a problem. So that's what happens with a lot of people. They hire this contractor who they give money to, and that guy gets that money, and he'll be there a couple of days, and they think that they don't have to follow up with them. And then a couple of weeks go by, and he hasn't done nothing.
Yeah.
So I learned that by getting burned.
Yeah.
So now I follow up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey man, I've already gave you this much. You've done this much on the project. I need you to be there and get this stuff done in order for me to give you more money.
Yeah.
So by the end of the week, what's our plan?
Right.
Your plan is to do this and this. Okay, cool. So I'll be here the next few days to make sure you get it done. And if you get it done, I'll pay you the money. If you couldn't finish it, then I'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to give you this much. Tomorrow I'll come and finish it, and I'll give you the rest of the money.
Yeah.
And then they don't like it, but hey, that's how you got to do it. It's literally babysitting adults, unfortunately, but the construction industry is very ruthless, and if you're not on top of your game, they will eat you alive.
Yeah, you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile.
They will.
Yeah. That's I think that is extremely insightful, Chacon. A lot of people wouldn't have even known that to begin with, but because you've already gone through the process and you've gotten burnt, right? You learned what not to do, and now you know what to do to be successful, right? Do you drive all your properties every single day?
So now I have an assistant. He's my assistant project manager, and he drives them every day.
He drives them. Okay.
And then he pushes, like I tell him, excuse me, he needs to be ahead of the project. So put it this way, right now I think we have 4 or 5 ongoing construction projects, 2 that are almost done. So at the end, usually those 2 are always at the end of the project. Is the most difficult time.
Yeah.
But he'll be ahead of them. So I go to the project at the beginning of the week, and I'll be like, hey, what are we going to do this week? They'll tell me what they're going to do, and I'll be like, what are you going to do next week?
Yeah.
So that way he has a week to get all the stuff they need for the following week.
Yeah.
And then he's ahead, 1 week ahead. Because usually a lot of the times is the projects get delayed because they don't have the materials. They don't have the resources to finish the project. And
so he's ahead in terms of getting the right materials for the
exactly.
job?
I'll give you a perfect example. Recently, we just started wanting to do our own cabinets because we were paying a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we're not professionals at putting cabinets. Yeah. So we already went to the cabinet store 3 times. So because we don't know, but we want to learn. Yeah. For we could cut, it'll probably save us $3,000 or $4,000 per house. So you do 10 houses, that's $40,000. That pays for my project manager. Yeah. So we're trying to learn this, but like a little piece of wood is missing, or this is missing, that's missing. So he needs to just be on top of that. Go pick up the material, go do this, go do that, or they need one little thing that can delay the whole project. So we're sitting there waiting for this one little thing for the project to progress, and it's just holding up everything. Yeah. So he's the one that is on top of that stuff to make sure the projects are progressing. Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's extremely insightful, bro. You're sharing, I feel like, a lot of value right now to a lot of people in terms of project management and how to handle rehab. I think a lot of people are going to listen to this and they're going to find it super valuable and helpful. So I'm really glad you're sharing all of this. Thank you for sharing everything, by the way, and not holding anything back. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else that you want to speak about all that? So I wanted to talk about wholesaling and how we've talked about this, how the market is changing. I feel like right now you have a lot of people who got taken out. Yeah, like a lot of people left wholesaling and left. There's a lot of people that we probably used to see at events that were wholesaling maybe 2-3 years ago that we don't see wholesaling. Yeah, where they at? Who knows? Yeah, and they got taken out by the market. Exactly. So you're gonna have a new wave of new people coming in, and that new wave of people is gonna bring new energy. Because I feel like wholesaling is all about how much energy, who has the most energy to go out there and just hustle. Yeah. So it comes down to that, and I feel like right now, cold calling and texting and those things are starting to come back. Yeah, the people, everybody thought it was dead, so now it's because everybody thinks it's dead. No one's doing it. Yeah. So now it's probably going to become. It's probably going to become resourceful now to actually do it. And, that's when, you guys come in, your company can come in and actually help people, because we stopped our cold callers, but now we're like, hey, we should probably start doing this. We got a couple properties under contract last week that we probably would have not gotten under contract if we just didn't pick up the phone. Yeah. And they came from cold calls. Yeah. And they came from cold calls. Yeah. So it's like, we're just following back up. Like, hey, we had this lead in our CRM. Yeah. Let me hit this guy back up. Yeah. How you doing? Right. Hey, yeah, I'm ready to sell. Oh, let's get this under contract. Beautiful. So, it comes down, that comes, from the pipeline from getting cold callers and having the cold callers build that data of maybe lukewarm sellers that you just got to continue to follow up. Yeah. And we have about 20 cold callers right now. Oh, you do? Yeah, we have about 20 cold callers. Nice. Most of them are in Egypt. We have some Venezuela, Colombians.
But dude, they're making about $1,000 to $3,000 per day each one. In a month, they're making about $50,000. And by the way, we follow all the laws, so everything's compliance with FTC. We make sure we're not calling the do not call list or anything like that. But we make about that many cold calls, and that's just one person. 20 people will be able to make a lot of cold calls, like in 10 500, so about $1 million every single month that we're doing. And this is not just in Houston. Now we have clients in different markets. We can do this nationwide. But what's really interesting is that we have seen for me, just because we've perfected the script, we've perfected the data pulling, everything. Our numbers have always been consistent. It's always, even like during the downturn or anything. And really, it's all about just like putting more hours into a certain campaign, and we'll get a shit ton more leads. So the way that we do it is we can scale back a campaign, or if we're not hitting a goal for a certain campaign, all we need to do is put an extra caller there, and boom, before you know it, we're getting all the leads. As a matter of fact, I even just started a campaign in California, and I was a little I'm always confident in anything that I do, right? But I was like, man, I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm gonna take it, and we're gonna figure it out. And thank God, bro, it's been working great. We've been generating two solid leads per day for this client in California. We're talking about like finding deals, in Sacramento and all these different areas where typical prices are like $1 million, $3 million, something like that. And people are answering the phone, right? As long as you have a good cold caller with good accent, with a good script, with good energy, we're going to be able to get the leads, so.
I feel like those areas that have the higher price point, when the market starts shifting a little, I feel like a lot of the owners out there, they have so much equity, that they don't care.
Right.
They don't care with giving a good deal to people because they have $1 million in equity.
Yeah.
So they'll take $800,000.
Right.
Instead of $1 million.
Yeah.
So they're willing to be more flexible versus a lot of what we were seeing here in Houston is that a lot of the new data that's coming in is they don't have equity.
Right.
So that becomes a problem.
Right.
So, you have a lot of these buyers who bought in 2022, 2023, and they're like, pretty much, if they go to sell it, they got to bring money to the table.
Yeah. I'm seeing that a lot right now, bro. A lot of the leads that I'm getting in right now, and I see the leads that we're getting for the clients, and there's a ton with no equity, but that does provide an opportunity for, buying all these properties subject to.
Yes. So I'm going to give you an example. So the 9 unit that I just wholesale, I found out that they bought it from somebody that I know. They bought the property for $535,000.
Okay.
And they spent money on it.
Yeah.
And then I bought it for $385,000.
You bought it for $385,000?
$385,000.
They lost money on the deal selling it to you?
Yes.
Did they have to come to the table with money?
I don't know who came to the table, but when I went to patent title, they're like, somebody's losing a lot of money.
Oh my God.
And I was like, wow. So yeah, it's happening right now as we speak, so there's a lot of opportunity out there right now as we speak.
What's the reason that person sold it for that much of a loss though?
So from my understanding, he was just done. What a lot of people don't get is that multifamily is a very unforgiving business.
It is.
And you have to be like, it's happened to us. We've had 97% occupancy for 6 months, and then we'll get 15 people leave in one hit. And then we have to file 10 evictions. And all of a sudden our portfolio is at 85% in 1 month. So you have to be very on top of things. And then there's a reason why that happens. You probably didn't pick up the phone for maintenance calls. You probably, you didn't do something right, and people just start leaving.
Yeah.
So if you're not on top of stuff and you're not answering that phone from tenants, they will start leaving and the property will decline very quickly.
Yeah.
So your game, you're running a business, You're not running. People think that multifamily is very passive, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's very active, and you have to be on it. If you don't have a professional property manager, your property will go downhill.
Right.
And a lot of people thought that they could just like, I'm going to buy this little 9 unit and, I'm going to manage it and have my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And, you have these tenants calling you and bugging you about things. And then they're not wanting to fix things, or they're like, or they have their life and they forget about it.
Yeah.
The AC's out and these people are over there cooking in their house. And they just leave. The people are like, man, F this. They just leave.
Yeah.
Now you lost, a tenant. Now you're going to have to fix the AC plus get it ready again for rent. And then you lose a month of rent because now you got to lease it out. And then you got to find somebody to fix the property. So now you lost like $4,000
Yeah.
instead of sending somebody to get the AC fixed for $300.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't. It's happened to me.
Yeah.
So I know because I've done that. I've ignored people. I've ignored people and they just leave.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah. So it can go on a decline very, very quickly.
Exactly. So that's why I say, like, I feel like there's a lot of owners like that right now in these situations. I just walked one today, a 7-unit.
Do you think it was mainly like new people that like just got into the business about 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
You mentioned 2022, 2023. It's like a bunch of like a wave of new people. They come in, they buy, they come in gunslinging, and they're like, oh, I'm going to be a real estate investor. It's going to be a passive income, blah, blah, blah. There's all these gurus talking about passive income and how easy it's going to be. There's talks of syndication, blah, 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 blah. And then they get their aspirant.
Yeah. Or a lot of people make the mistake. They see one rental comp and they gravitate towards that rental comp and say like, hey, yeah, like, average. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, my rent, it's going to be $1,300 a month. And
they base their entire
their NOI based off of that. They base it that my rental income is going to be $1,300.
What's an NOI for everyone that's listening here?
Net operating income.
Yeah.
Based off of those numbers. So then they go to the lender and the appraiser and they're like, hey, this is what my NOI is going to be.
Yeah.
And the NOI is
that's called a performer, right?
Yeah.
That's called a performer.
It's not gonna be that because now there's in Houston there's a 10% vacancy. I mean 90% occupancy. So there's 10% vacancy right now. So if you factor in right now, if you have a 10-unit, expect to have 1 to 2 vacant. Always. Yeah. So
you need to factor that into your
performa. And a lot of people were being very aggressive and they weren't factoring that in and they were having an issue with that because now those 2 units that you have vacant and then other repairs happening to the property and then property tax and insurance were going like crazy. So now you have negative cash flow for a couple years.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can sustain that.
Yeah.
So they're just like, take the property back.
Take it. Yeah. Wow. So let's keep talking about the market, right? Right now, like, from the moment that you started to where you're at now, what kind of market trends have you seen? What kind of market cycles have you seen in Houston? Because we're in Houston, Texas. That's what we can speak about, right? So let's talk real quick about some of the market cycles that you've seen.
But in regards to what?
So, like in you came here, 2017, 2018?
2018. Mm-hmm.
You were flipping a lot. You were buying and holding. And that was a good time for buying and holding. Then it was like a really good time for wholesaling.
Yes.
So let's talk about all of those cycles.
So right now, what a lot of people don't get is that flipping in Houston right now is the same market as 2017, 18. So 2018, our inventory was probably 6 months, 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
It usually took about 2 to 3 months to get an offer.
Yeah.
Back in the days.
2017, 2018. Yeah.
And then we hit after the COVID where houses were lasting on the market 10 days, 5 days, 2 days, 1 day.
So that was a really good time to flip.
Everybody was spoiled on that. So now we're back to the 2 months, 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
The property will sit there.
Yeah.
However, so that's going back to the market trends. Right now, it's a good time to flip if you're a professional. If you have great prices in material and everything, it's a great time to flip.
If you're a professional.
If you're not a professional, it's a bad time to flip. I feel like right now, the perfect timing is to buy and hold again.
Buy and hold?
Mm-hmm. Because tax and insurance is stabilized.
Yeah.
And then owners are starting to be more reasonable in pricing. So it's a perfect storm to buy right now and hold it for a few years and sell in 5 years.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some equity.
Yeah.
But
capture that equity. And then also wholesaling.
We're seeing that since the sellers are starting to be more flexible, then yes. However, the biggest issue you're gonna have right now is that there's not a lot of like actual buyers right now for wholesaling.
Right.
So you're either going to have to buy yourself for you to hold, or you're going to have to like take a very low profit when
Right.
wholesaling. So your profit margins have diminished because of that reason.
Yeah.
However, there's still people who are making a lot of money wholesaling though.
Yeah, there is.
There is. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be the Debbie Downer and say that you can't wholesale, but you know, we're starting to get back into commercial wholesaling more than residential wholesaling.
Why commercial wholesaling?
Because I think we hit a bottom in commercial wholesale and in commercial real estate. We're starting to see like people are starting to buy again. You know, last year was the perfect time to buy.
Mm-hmm.
We bought, I'll give you a perfect example. I bought a 34 unit last year. I literally paid $50 a door, and the as is appraisal came in at 92 a door.
Oh,
as is. So
not
literally
even
the owner brought, I think they brought $500,000 to the closing table.
No, they didn't.
I can show you.
Yeah.
You know, there's proof.
Wow.
So, granted, it was a huge nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
That they don't care. Their balance sheet is probably, you know, $500 million of real estate. So that was like pennies to them.
Whatever. Yeah.
So that's a big difference between us and them, you know?
Yeah.
So to them, that was like maybe 30K loss for us, you know?
Yeah. In retrospect. Yeah.
In retrospect, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. That's my mind is like spinning right now. That's that's a lot of information.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And so a lot of people can really benefit though from actually starting wholesaling right now though. If for the people that are new in the game, you know, they can go out there and start actually wholesaling. Maybe don't expect to be making, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50K assignments, but hey, maybe some consistent 5K or 10K assignments could really put you on the map to actually start investing later on in the future.
Or build a track record and build momentum. I think that's what a lot of people don't get, because starting is the hardest thing.
It is.
And getting the momentum, because once you
not only
get
that, but the skills.
Yeah. But bro, momentum is huge, because I'll tell you this, when you completely stop something, your momentum just dies out.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, your mind's in another place, versus when you just keep going at it, you get one deal, you get another deal, you get another deal, and all of a sudden your board starts looking sexy. And now you have like us, when we're doing 12 flips. It didn't start with 12 flips. It started with 2 flips, and then it started with 3 flips, and then we started building momentum. We started selling them, and we're like, okay, cool, we can build this team up and start building this up. But now we're like, okay, cool, we're starting to see more buyers come into the market. Let's start wholesaling. We just wholesaled our first one. We didn't make a lot. We made 10K. We're gonna make 10K.
Yeah.
So okay, cool, 10K. I'll take that.
Yeah, whatever.
That pays the bills.
Absolutely. Where do you see the market going for the rest of the year? This year?
It really depends on Papi Trump.
Yeah.
How crazy he gets, I feel.
Yeah.
Let's hope that he stops this tariff situation, you know, and Ray Dalio, you know, he's been on TV, you know, like saying if he continues this, we're going to go into a deep recession.
Right.
However, even if we go into a recession, people don't get that there's always going to be opportunity.
Absolutely.
So just because we're in a recession, stop looking at the TV and focus on you as an individual,
right? And
focus on where you're going to take your company and your path. Because if you just sit there and watch news all day, you're just going to literally just screw yourself in the head.
Yeah.
Versus you just getting up and hustling every day. There's always a buyer. Even during the last recession, 2008, there was transactions.
Yeah.
Just because the market slowed down doesn't mean that transactions are happening. So you got to just continue to do transactions, even if you make $3 grand, $4 grand, $5 grand, 10 grand, anything.
Yeah,
just keep the momentum going.
Right. Yeah, I love that. What about next year? Do you see the same thing?
We just don't know. I feel like a lot of people are just like kind of like, what's going on?
I feel the same way. You know, like I've spoken to a lot of investors, and I've spoken to a lot of, you know, business owners, and a lot of people are just kind of very cautious. You know, they don't want to make any like large moves because for the same reason. We got a new president. Before it was like, oh, what president are we gonna have is gonna be the kind of like direction of the country. But now that we have a new president, then it's like, oh, he's doing all these different foreign policy, you know, like policy that's affecting the capital markets, and so it's not gonna be something that can be predictable, you know, because it's all based on his decisions on what he's doing with the country.
Well, you have to realize something that everything that he's doing is inflationary. However, he's a real estate man too.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, he's going to benefit the rich.
Yeah.
You know, it's the reality of the world.
Right.
He's going to, I think my personal opinion is that he's doing the show to get rates lower.
Yeah.
So he's like telling the Fed, like, hey, the world's ending, the market's crashing.
Right.
You need to do an emergency rate cut.
Right.
And that's my opinion of the situation that he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Because if rates go down, what happens with real estate? Real estate goes up.
Right.
So that's my personal opinion. However, the tariffs is just a big old, like, oh my God, it's becoming a problem because we source, like, for contractors and for us who are in construction, you know, we get our cabinets from China.
Yeah.
We get our baseboard from China.
Have you seen prices go up?
They have not said it, but they told us that if they do continue, the next batch of inventory that comes in is going to become, you know, obviously is going to go up.
Yeah. Wow.
Because of the tariffs.
Right.
So that's when it's really going to hit the fan. It hasn't hit the fan yet.
Not yet.
But we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be an interesting time for sure.
It is. But when there's interesting time, there's also opportunity.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it from a positive standpoint, not from a negative standpoint.
Yeah. And it costs no different, or it makes no different for you to make the decision to look at the opportunity and say, or the situation that we're in right now and say, hey, I'm either going to choose to look at this positively and I'm going to benefit from it, or I'm going to look at this as negatively and I'm going to be a Debbie Downer and think that the whole world is going to crash down on me. You know?
Yes, I've been there. I've been in that situation where you just like let yourself go down a rabbit hole and you just like get stuck there. Like, I'm not going to buy anymore, nothing. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to stay at home. And it's like, okay, like, you know, we're in real estate. We got to make money.
Yeah.
We have to continue to transact. You just have to go with what the market tells you. If the market is showing you, hey, it's time to wholesale. If it's time to flip. If it's time to do this. There's always opportunity in real estate. And that's the reality.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about your Instagram handle. HTX One Day Closer, right? That's your Instagram handle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when I initially met you, you were like you're swinging this term around, one day closer, and you know, me and you at first we didn't like each other, right? So I'm like, man, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but once I think a couple of times I've witnessed it where we've had some deals, and you came to the closing table and it was all cash, and you fucking closed quick. So let's talk about that and how you got to the point where, number one, you were able to like figure out how to close on a property that fast, and you know, actually figure out the process that it takes to do that, and then number two, your branding and how you branded yourself as a One Day Closer. Can we talk about that?
So a lot of the stuff that we've done is how I've done is just pretty much I'm in this game to win. I'm not in this game to lose.
Of course.
So I give people offers, and I always usually tell them like, hey brother, this is my offer. If you sell it to somebody else, congratulations. You know, I want you to make more money. Yeah. But if you don't have that offer and you need a real buyer, I'm right here. So I always tell people that. So, you know, like I'm always lower than what they ask.
Yeah.
But they've been situations in the last few months. That's how we've closed a lot of deals because, hey, Jonathan, you know what? The buyer backed out. You want it? Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
When do you need to close? Well, we need to close Tuesday because the seller's going to back out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Okay. We got you.
No problem.
Close on it.
And that's how you're able to beat out a lot of buyers in Houston, you know?
Yeah. Well,
because you provide reliability, right?
Yes, exactly.
And you're consistent with it too. You know, it's not like you've just said it only one or two times. It's like, as long as I've known you, you've like been able to close deals very, very quickly, faster than probably 99% of people out there, you know? So I think I commend you for that. That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
And where'd you get the idea to brand it?
I don't know. I just I just thought about it. I'm like, hey, I'll close in one day, because a lot of times, like on Facebook, everybody's like, I want to buy the deal. Yeah. And everybody's just like, I've posted deals on Facebook, and what happens? Everybody and the mother is like, I want to buy, and nobody really buys it. Yeah. I've seen this. I see it all the time. It's the same people putting their name on their email, and then they never take action. Yeah. So it's like, and this is, you know what? I'll be honest with you. This is how I learned this. So when I first moved to Houston, the best deals that transacted in Houston were like literally eaten up by the professionals.
When you first moved to Houston?
When I first moved to Houston. So I would be like, okay, I know this deal. The comp is this.
Yeah.
And then I would be like, let me think about it.
You?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
I would be like, let me think about it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll be like, I thought about it overnight and I'm like, I want to buy it.
Yeah.
Text the guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to buy it.
Yeah.
So then I'll be like, oh man. Then I would do it again. I would go to the showing, do the thing, underwrite it, do everything. And then they'll be like, sold. And I'll be like, what the F is going on? Like, why can't I get a deal?
Right.
And I realized that in order to compete with these guys are professionals. They have things in order. They already know their comms. They already know their construction costs. They are professional. They have this they have it down
to a T.
Yeah, they're really good at what they do.
Right.
So I was like, in order for me to compete with these guys, I gotta beat these guys. You know, like I gotta beat these guys. You know, like I gotta beat these guys, and the only way I'm gonna do it is by just literally when the deal comes, I'm like there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, a lot of people don't know how to underwrite construction, so I'm like, I already know.
Yeah.
I go and I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Done.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Then they're like,
and that freaks out a lot of people.
It does. Like, let's go. I'll buy it. No problem. Let's go.
Yeah.
Where do I send the EMD?
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well, let's get it done. And then I reclose on it and get it done and list it a few months later. And then they're like, wow, okay, what happened? How did you do this? And they're like, well, we just get it done. We're professionals, you know?
Yeah.
We see this as a business. We're very professional about this.
But it took you a while to get to that point, right? Like,
how
long did it take you to be a professional, so to speak?
I think it took me about a year, bro.
About a year of consistency.
Yeah. Yes, because you
did a lot of deals during that year.
Nah, I probably did like 6. I didn't do that many, but it had to come to the point where I'm like, hey, like if I really want to make money and I really want to make this my business, I have to become a professional. I have to know my ARVs. I have to know my areas. I have to like know that there's another guy that wants the same deal as me. So I have to beat him to it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna so when I first moved out here, I would literally drive all day long in that crappy truck.
Yeah.
Literally, I would drive all day for hours, bro.
Right.
And just understand markets, go on. I didn't have access to the MLS, so I would just go on Zillow and I forgot the name of it, but I would just go on there and just underwrite the deals, underwrite it, practice like I'm buying it, and just practice and know my areas, write down notes, and just study the markets until I fucking realize that, you know what, I know what I'm doing. Let's get this done.
Yeah. They say it takes 10,000 hours to be a master at anything, and
it does.
I think you spent way more than that.
Oh yeah, beyond that.
You're not a master anymore. You're beyond that level for sure.
Yeah.
You can definitely be one of those gurus that you see online, but I'm really glad that you stick to what you're doing, and you just stick to the business, man, and you stick to bringing value, making beautiful houses, and providing shelter for a lot of families out there. I mean, you have 340 units, so you're one of, in the grand scheme of things, it's considered a small landlord, but for someone that's new, it's like that's a decent sized landlord for sure. So I think you're providing a lot of value to a lot of people.
Thank you, bro.
The next step for you is going to be what, developments?
Yes. So back to the market cycles, I feel like right now is a great time to flip.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of investors out there flipping. So back in, a couple years ago, I couldn't do this, what I'm doing right now. I couldn't flip because everybody was paying 85% for a deal. The 75% deal was there was some, but not as much volume as I'm doing right now.
Right.
You would get like maybe 2-3 flips a year because you got lucky,
right?
But not 12 consistent flips, always just getting deals all the time. I got one under contract today, and it was probably like a 76% deal.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. You're going to make money.
Right.
You're not going to lose money. When you're doing 85% deals, it's very risky because one thing goes wrong and you're losing money already.
Absolutely.
So I feel like right now is a great time to flip. There's less buyers, there's less people who I'm competing with. So I'm able to get deals at that 75%, 73% mark, and it's perfect for me.
Yeah.
But it's gonna come to an end. I feel like the market is gonna adjust. There's gonna start becoming more buyers out there that are just gonna say, hey, I'm willing to pay more for this guy.
With this new wave that's coming in.
Yeah, exactly. With this new wave of investors who are gonna come in and are gonna be like, hey, this guy's making 30K. Well, I'm willing to take 15K.
Yeah.
but they're
Right.
risking, a sewer line's backed up, a sewer line's messed up, a collapse underground, and they could just lose money. Or, or this newbie guy is like, hey, I've never made 10 grand in my whole life. I'll
Yeah.
take 10 grand and do all that work.
Right.
Well, more power to him. But when it gets to where me making 10 grand a deal, it's not going to make sense anymore. So that's when, right now, what I'm doing is I'm constantly looking for lots, bigger lots where I can replot and actually build multiple houses on a lot.
Nice.
I have two right now, and I'm looking for more. I'm looking for bigger plots of land, and just like get them under contract, put some money down, and just pay the payment on it until the market gets, really hot again.
Yeah.
And then start developing it and building it.
Right.
I think that it's a great time to start land banking, because I feel like land right now you could get it at 50% of value if you know how to get deals right.
Yeah. If you know how to negotiate, you know how to market, find the leads. You need to have some cold callers for that.
Yes, I do. I need to get them.
Yeah. Let me know, bro. I'll help you out. Cool, man. That's exciting. So for anyone that's watching, Jonathan Chacon, he's looking for houses. You heard it here from him.
And land.
And land,
Multifamily.
And multifamily. And anything that is on real estate, this guy can buy. So
yes, I literally have.
I mean, you have warehouses.
I do have I have a warehouse. I have motel. I have multifamily.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, huh? You have the industrial space. You have the multifamily space. Residential. So
I even have an RV park too.
You even have an RV park. There you go. So for anyone that's watching and you need a deal close fast, would you say that the 1 day closer thing is mainly for residential? Probably.
Yes, more than likely it is, because commercial is more complex. You can't close it in 1 day.
No,
you have to underwrite it. And I can't handle that with private money.
Yeah.
Unless it's a multifamily and it's a smaller multifamily, or unless it's like literally a steal that, like I cannot resist. Well, even then, you still have to get environmentals. The lenders require environmentals. They require appraisals for those. They're not going to let you just buy it in 1 day.
No.
It doesn't exist. But a single family home is easy.
Yeah, of course. So if anyone has a deal, they need someone to close on it in 1 single day, hit up Jonathan Chacon. He'll be able to buy that deal in 1 single day.
Houston mostly.
Houston surrounding areas. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then you're looking for land. You want to do some development. So how big of parcels are we talking about here that you're looking to buy?
We're looking to buy probably. We're not that big, so maybe under a couple acres.
What's a couple acres? Like 3, 4, 5?
Just two acres.
2 acres.
In the city. If it's outside of the city, you can buy a lot more acres for cheaper prices.
So you want to buy about less than 2 acres inside of the city?
Inside the city. Okay, outside of the city, you could do 10, 15 acres.
Yeah. Okay.
Depends on location.
Yeah, I didn't know what area you wanted to start developing in. So yeah. So in the city, 2 acres outside. What's your goal with development? Do you want to start in the city or outside of the city?
So the lots that I have right now are in the city.
In the city, so preferably inside the city.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter as long as there's
equity.
Not just equity, but I think there has to be city utilities close to the property for we can access the utilities.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, cool. Well, man, I think we've covered a lot, huh?
We went all around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a great episode. I really enjoyed this one, man. I think we covered a lot of ground. I think we offered a lot of value in terms of where the market's at. We went into all of your experience and everything that you've done. Spoke about how to manage people, how to manage 7 rehabs at the same time. So it was a jam-packed episode. So I think a lot of people are going to enjoy to watch this. How can people reach out to you if they have a deal?
Yes, so you can reach me out on Instagram on HTX 1 Day Closer and on Facebook. Those are the 2 forms of reaching out to me. I usually look at the DMs that show like that somebody that first DM me.
Yeah, like a requested.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I look at them all the time because I have people who hit me up all the time.
Nice.
And you never know. We can do a deal together. We could partner. Who knows? There's endless things that can happen.
And on Facebook, they can find you by typing in just Jonathan Chacon.
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
cool. Perfect. Cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to share?
No, that's
No?
it.
That's pretty much it. Cool.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Pick Up the Phone podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right.
All right.